Welcome to DU Digimon.
Hello and welcome to DU Digimon and welcome to another BT17 deck profile. If you're liking this sort of content, please make sure to like, subscribe and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on any of the latest content. Today's deck, we are looking at the new Pulsemon / Kazuchimon deck that was touched upon in BT16, was kind of incomplete, but now has got some really cool tools ready to go for it. I'm actually, again, just like I did with the Diaboromon profile the other day, bringing two different lists. One to kind of do more of the kind of DNA shenanigans that you could potentially do with this deck, and the other being more of a pure kind of Pulsemon kind of experience. So let's get into the deck. So first of all, the eggs, we've got 4 of the new BT17 BBmon. Very simple effect on this one. You essentially place a yellow Tamer card underneath, you gain 1 memory. Simple as that. You've also got 1 copy of the old BT6 BBmon, which is if you've got 3 security exactly when attacking, you gain 1 memory. I thought because we play Ukomon in this, who we'll obviously get to, we do churn through eggs quite quickly sometimes, so I thought the 5th egg would be necessary. I might take it out. Let's just see how I feel. Next, we might as well discuss Ukomon whilst we're here. We've got 2 copies of BT16 Ukomon. Very simply here, you know, just goes out of the raising area, searches, grabs you a Digimon or a Tamer, and then you get to hatch again. So really, really good. Then we've got the new BT17 Pulsemon at 4 copies. It is a start of main. You get to place a Leon Alexander underneath. Hacker Judge is also counted as Leon Alexander, and essentially what you then get to do is if you have 3 or more security cards, you gain 1 memory. If you have 2 or fewer, you get a recovery +1, so which is really, really good. This becomes our kind of Loogarmon equivalent, if you will, if we're talking kind of the SOC Digimon Seekers kind of style of decks. You know, really, really cool. Then has an inheritable effect of giving 1000 DP if you've got Pulsemon in the text. Then we've got the Pulsemon from BT16. Really simple on this one as well. It is green, but it can digivolve for 0 on top of any BBmon, which is really handy. You reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You add 1 card with Pulsemon in its text. So that is a Digimon, a Tamer, anything that's got Pulsemon in its text. As well as also something with the Abaddon electronics in its traits, so which is quite a few of the cards in the deck, which is quite handy. Can actually add itself with that effect, which is really cool. Next, we've got the Bulkmon from BT17. So this becomes our new kind of go-to champion. We no longer have to fill the decks with random things like Rapidmon or anything like that. But this guy, I have cheated. I will be honest. I'm doing these on the clock, so I have got the cards in case I can't remember what they do. So here we go. We've got Bulkmon. So if you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. If you have 3 or fewer, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So it has a yellow effect if you've got 3 or more, or a kind of a green effect if you've got 3 or less. Both of which can be quite handy. If you've got that magical sweet spot of 3, you're DP minusing and you're suspending them to potentially beat them over. It also has an all turns effect, which none of the other champions from the Pulsemon line do, so from these BT16 or BT17 cards. When your security stack is trashed from, if Leon Alexander is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, recovery +1, and then he has the same inheritable as his BT17 counterpart. Back to the list. We've then got 2 copies of the BT16 Runamon. This one's really simple. On play when Digimon evolving, if you've got 3 or more, you suspend the Digimon. If you've got 3 or less, you gain 1 memory, and then it has that same 1000 DP inheritable. So can be really useful, this one, especially later game when you can kind of play it out for more cheaply or Digivolve into it for more cheaply. Then we've also got the Namakamon at 3. This one, on play when digivolving, if you've got 3 or more, it can't have its DP reduced or be de-digivolved, and if you've got 3 or less, you can give something blocker or reboot. It's also both of those effects you can give to any of your Digimon on the field, not just itself. And then we've also got the same 1000 DP inheritable. Now, hopping back out because we've got another BT17 card to talk about, and I have memory like a fish. So we've got the Bulkmon from BT17. So this one digivolves on top of any Pulsemon in text. So even though you've got some non-yellow and green Digimon in your champions, so you've got the Namakamon, you can still digivolve on top of that. When this Digimon would leave the battle area by an opponent's effect, by trashing the top card of your security stack, prevent it from leaving. So kind of a barrier effect, but for effects. Then all turns, when an effect trashes from your security stack, this Digimon with Leon Alexander in its Digivolution cards may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Pulsemon in its text in the hand without paying the cost. So it can actually Digivolve up into your Kazuchimon completely free of charge, which is fantastic. Then it also has a end of attack inheritable, which is the shared inheritable from all of the BT16 level 5s, which is if this Digimon has Pulsemon in its text, by trashing the top card of your security stack, unsuspend this Digimon. Really, really good stuff. Then back to the list. We have got the other level 5s. We've got 2 copies of Pulsemon. This one on play when Digivolving. Essentially, if you've got 3 or more, you suspend something, and then something can't unsuspend until after the unsuspend phase. And then also, if you've got 3 or less, you gain 2 memory. So really, really good if you can cheat this out with the next card we're going to talk about. Also has the same inheritable that kind of trash something to unsuspend at the end of attack. We've then got 3 copies of the Climbmon. This guy is really good for your consistency as well as also cheating stuff out. So essentially what you're going to do with him is if you have 3 or more security, you draw 2 and then trash 1. And if you've got 3 or less, you kind of bring out a Digimon from your trash with Pulsemon in its text with 6,000 DP or less. So the aim of the game there is to try and get one of your Pulsemon into the trash, play one of those out, gain 2 memory, which is really, really cool. Then it's got that same inheritable effect of the end of attack kind of thing going on. Next, we're going to jump back out, and we're going to stay out this time because we've got quite a few different cards we're going to talk about. But we've got 4 copies of Kazuchimon. I don't know why I chose a different website for this one, but oh well. So when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if Leon Alexander is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, all of your opponent's Digimon gain security attack +1. -1, sorry. Then until the end of their turn. And then the end of the turn, if you've got 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -6,000 DP for the turn, and if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recovery +1. Then one of your Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon. So because that's a separate sentence, that then kind of attacking thing happens regardless of if you've got 3 or more or 3 or less, but obviously you want to get that sweet spot so you're both minusing something and also recovering. Then it also has a really good inheritable for if you're going to be going into your DNA, which obviously in the first build we are. When a card is removed from your security stack, if this Digimon has FenrirLoogamon in its name, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -8,000 DP for the turn. Really, really good. Next, we'll talk about FenrirLoogamon. So he's a bit of an odd one in this. Honestly, the DNA is much easier to do if you're playing the SOC version of this, so you're playing the FenrirLooga stuff, but it is possible to do in this one because of what the DNA does. So what you're going to be doing in this one is when Digivolving, if AG Nagasumi is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you may play one FenrirLoogamon or Kazuchimon from your trash without paying the cost. Obviously, that's not really going to happen because you can't put AG underneath any of the Pulsemon and text stuff. Then all turns, when one of your Digimon or Tamers that have the SOC trait or Pulsemon in their text is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less. So that will happen. That can happen. And what's really cool, because it's got Pulsemon in the text, that means FenrirLoogamon becomes searchable off of your false Pulsemon in text stuff. Unfortunately, the only Digimon that you can Digivolve into this is going to be your Climbmon, but that's okay. We can Digivolve on top of that for 3, and then we can do what we need to do with the other stuff. Then this also has a great inheritance. While this Digimon has FenrirLoogamon in its name, the turn end condition is the opponent having 3 or more memories. So really, really good inheritable there to keep your turn going because of what the DNA will do. So the DNA, when one of your level 6 Digimon with Pulsemon in its text is played, 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into this card. So it does this in the trash. So you've got this in the trash, you DNA and Digivolve into it. So the aim you've got is you go into your Climbmon, then you Digivolve into your FenrirLoogamon. Then it's kind of sketchy, but you have to hard play your Kazuchimon in this build, which does seem kind of sketchy. But when Digivolving for the FenrirLoogamon, Takemikazuchi, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -16,000 DP for the turn, and if you're DNA Digivolving, which you will be because of how this combo works, you may set the memory to 3 on your opponent's side. So that means with the inheritable from the Fenrir, you're not passing turn when you leave them on 3. And not only that, the fact that you've hard played your Kazuchimon for, what is it, 11? 12. You hard play that for 12, which is a lot. But, doable. then you basically kind of go. So basically, your full combo. You go into the Climbmon. You play out your Pistomon. You gain 2 memory. You will have had to have 3 memory to kind of start your turn. So have one of your memory tamers out. Digivolve into your Fenriloogamon. Hard play. Is it hard play or can you digivolve? Can you digivolve? Is it played or? No, it is played. You have to hard play the Kazuchimon. So then you're going to hard play your Kazuchimon for 12. That's going to put them on exactly 10 because you'll have gained the 2 memory from your Pistomon. DNA into this, set them to 3, continue your turn. It works. It just works. Anyways, the rest of the effect is then if you've got a Tamer card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, which might be doable. It does have the... Can you put Leon underneath this? Would the Leon stay? Would the Leon? I think the Leon would keep. Yeah, if you put Leon underneath the Climbmon before when you digivolve into the Fenrir, it would remain underneath. So you could still gain this. You gain 1 memory and recovery +1. So another little kind of tool there. Then when attacking, by trashing the top card of your security stack, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So really, really good. Very, very strong card with a lot of great removal. The fact that with the inheritable from the Fenriloogamon, you can keep turn with it. And then you also can just -8 stuff with the inheritable from Kazuchimon. Really, really good card. I think this is going to be great for this deck. Obviously, I think it will still be better in the Fenriloogamon deck, which you might be wondering why I haven't touched upon that. I don't own Fenriloogamon, and none of the guys have sent me a Fenriloogamon list, so I'm talking about Pulsemon instead, because I know the list better. Obviously not entirely, because I'm looking at the cards and having to cheat for the exact wording, but I digress. Anyways, next card. We're going to keep into the out of the list for the minute. We've got Leon Alexander. So you play this card without paying the cost from security. Start of main, if you have a Digimon with Pulsemon in its text, gain 1 memory. So really, really good. Mind Link with one of your Digimon with Pulsemon in its text. So this can actually Mind Link with the Fenriloogamon actually, because that has got Pulsemon in its text. Then, whilst this Digimon has Pulsemon in its text, it gains Blocker and Barrier, and endable turns you may play 1 Leon Alexander from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. So same kind of inheritable effect as the old hacker, old hacker judge as well, and we are playing this one at 3 copies. Then we've got 2 copies of the old hacker judge, which is kind of just your memory tamer, does the mind link and does the barrier blocking stuff. It doesn't have any of that kind of gaining 1 memory kind of stuff, but really good. I think either way, these 2 cards are fantastic. Because of that combo and you needing 3 memory at the start, I might put in another copy of the hacker judge potentially, or put in one of our other options. But I've also got 2 copies of Analog Youth, which this was a bit of a flex spot. Analog Youth, of course, allows you to search through your top 3, add 1 Digimon, then trash the rest. So the idea behind that is you can add what you need and potentially trash your Takemikazuchi ready for later. You do have other ways of also kind of getting it in the trash, which we're going to get into. But I just thought that would be a good way of doing it. Plus, if your level 5 or higher is deleted, you gain 1 memory and get to hatch. So that's quite handy as well. But it is kind of a flex spot, and I might increase the next card just for kind of to help us out, or possibly add some more kind of key removal, like maybe Heaven's Judgment or Thunderflame Crusher. We've got 1 copy of Blinding Ray, so you just trash the top of the security stack and you gain 2 memory. So again, this can help you with doing that Takemikazuchi DNA play, gain that extra 2 memory just by trashing the top of the security stack. Then the last card we're going to talk about is absolutely cracked, and I am going to read this one. I am going to cheat because Hacker's Pride is really, really good, and I don't want to understate how good of a card it is. Sorry, my computer is just misbehaving now. I'm just going to check and make sure we're still recording. We are still recording. Good. So going into Hacker Pride. So Hacker Pride is really, really exceptionally good. So this one, sorry, I'm just fixing some stuff as well. Oh, that's going to stay there. Okay, that's fine. So you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Pulsemon in its text among them to the hand, and return the rest to the bottom of the deck. So you can add basically everything in the deck, because everything has got Pulsemon in its text. Like, if we have a look, Pulsemon, obviously they have Pulsemon in the text. Ukamon doesn't, so bin that off. Analog Youth doesn't, bin that off. Blinding Ray, bin that off. But everything else, the Bulkmon, the Runnermon, the Namakamon, Boutmon, the Tamers, even the Fenriloogamons, the Takemikazuchi, and the normal Fenriloogamon, all of it have got Pulsemon in their text, so you can add literally all of them with Hacker's Pride. Then you've got the delay effect here as well by placing the top card of one of your level 4 or higher Digimon with Pulsemon in its text on top of your security stack, gain 2 memory. So essentially de-digivolve yourself to put something at the top of your stack and gain 2 memory, which just gives you an extra bit of recovery, gives you some memory. Exceptionally good. Also has a security factor revealing the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Pulsemon in its text bundle to the hand, then return the rest to the bottom of the deck, then place this card in the battle area. So very similar to I can't remember the name of it. The really long one for D Brigade, the Cyber Investigation Division 11 something or other one. Because that one, if it's hitting security, gets a search off, then goes into security, and then you can do the search. Oh no, you don't do the search again, do you? No, because it's a main effect. Boo, it's not an on-play. Anyway, ignore me. It doesn't do the search twice. But basically, you can get the search whether it's hitting security or you're hard playing it. So, really good card. Right, let's get into the second list. So obviously, this is our Takemikazuchi list, our DNA list. This is the list that I want to play because it's the one that kind of gets me the most excited, because I think the very fact that we can get away with that sort of combo, you know, we've got so many different ways of gaining memory. You know, I might increase the blinding rays in here, but possibly put in an analog youth in at 1 instead and put this to 2, or maybe take out analog youth entirely. I don't know. I might also increase this Hacker Judge to 3, just so we've got an extra memory tamer. I'm not too sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Next, we've got this is more of a Pulsemon list, so I won't go over too many of kind of what the cards do, because obviously we've done that with that previous list, but we will go over the cards that are different to the previous list. So the eggs are absolutely the same, rookies are absolutely the same, champions are exactly the same, level 5s are exactly the same. Level 6 and onward is where we get difference. We've still got the 4 copies of Kazutchimon, but then we've also got 2 copies of the Shroudmon that came out in BT16. This guy, when digivolving and when attacking, if you've got 3 or more, you give minus 7,000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon. If you've got 3 or less, you delete one of their unsuspended Digimon. Then he's got an all-turns effect of when this Digimon would leave the battle area by an effect, so not by battle unfortunately, you can trash one of your securities so that you don't leave. And then also, if it does manage to die, you get recovery. If you've got kind of less than 3 security, you get to recover +1 until you've got 3 security. So it just gives you, it basically cheats you a backup to that kind of magic spot that the Pulsemon deck needs. Then in terms of the level 7s, we've got Shine Greymon Ruin Mode, a fantastic card for any deck that is yellow or purple, and obviously this has got a lot of yellow, a lot of purple stuff. Digivolve it on top of either the Kazutchimon or the Shroudmon for some devastating effects. You put minus 5,000 DP on their board. You also do that when you're deleted as well, which you could trigger via your end of attack effect, where you delete the Shine Greymon as well as one of your opponent's Digimon, and you get to also recovery +1 and hatch an egg if you've got a Tamer. So essentially, you could potentially put 10,000 DP on the board. I mean, Shine Greymon Ruin Mode has been wrecking house since EX4, so not much else to say on it really. Then I'm keeping in Ultimate Chaosmon, which I included in Jank Tank 5 when I played the Shroudmon deck in that tournament. And I tell you what, we didn't get to go into this on camera, but I did get to do it off camera, and it's actually really cool, and it's completely doable in this. It's so good. Both the Kazutchimon and the Shroudmon on their own, if you've got a copy of another Shroudmon or another Kazutchimon in play, they could just DNA straight into this Ultimate Chaosmon. You can fill your trash up with some of your level 6s to go into it. I think Ultimate Chaos was kind of underrated low-key. You know, you get to bottom deck stuff equal to the amount of level 6s you put under it, because when you're digivolving you put level 6s underneath it up to 4. Then also, if you've got 4 level 6s underneath you, you gain security attack +3 and piercing, which is phenomenally powerful if you manage to do it. It's kind of hard to pull off, but we do like it. Both of those at 1 copy each. Then we've also got the Hacker Judge and the Leon Alexander and the Analog Youth. They're still the same. Hacker Pride still the same. And then we've got some removal in this version because we are not needing stuff like the Blinding Ray. We've got the Heaven's Judgment at 1 and the Thunderflame Crusher at 2. Heaven's Judgment, because we've got so many colours in this, is going to be phenomenal. You trigger it to do a -6k, and then you trigger it again for each colour you have in play. We've got yellow, we've got green, we've got black, we've got purple, we've got a lot of different, we've got white, we've got 5 different colours that we can use in this deck. So you can trigger that -6 initially, 5 more times, -36,000k. Yes, please. Very kind of like, you know, best case scenario, like a lot of copium there, but you can still obviously do a lot of DP minuses. Then the Thunder Flame Crusher is in there because it is both a removal tool and a recovery tool. Essentially, you get to use it, and if you're using it, you can reduce the cost of it by trashing down until you've got 3 security left. You then delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon, and if you've got 2 or fewer security, you get to then place this into the security for its incredibly devastating security effect, where it minuses 15,000 DP, which is insane. I mean, that's more than what Heaven's Judgment does in security. Security for Heaven's Judgment only does minus 12. Thunderflame does 15. And it's giving you a recovery tool. I think it's a really underrated card. You can also play it whenever you've got a Pulsemon and text in place, regardless of colour. Obviously, it's purple and yellow, so that might be difficult normally, but because of the Pulsemon and text shenanigans, you can play it pretty much with anything on the board. But that is the 2 different lists. Apologies, I had to jump out a lot to talk about a lot of these BT17 cards. You'd think as someone trying to kind of properly eke out an existence on the sphere of YouTube as a Digimon YouTuber, I would just memorize all this shit, but I just don't. I don't have the capacity. I'm a father. I work full time, and then I do all this stuff in my spare time. I don't have the brain anymore to learn all that stuff. So do apologize for reading, and I hope you could kind of forgive me. But you know, that is these 2 lists. Let me know which of these 2 lists you prefer, whether it's kind of the DNA Takemikazuchi stuff, which I'm really leaning to, or the more classic kind of Pulsemon stuff with Shroudmon in and all of that. So let me know which one you guys prefer. Like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell if if you are liking this sort of content. And we'll see you on Wednesday for the next deck profile. Because again, no matches this week whilst I am on holiday. But yeah, until that next deck profile on Wednesday, keep it digital.